Welcome to the live stream Thursday night, the ATYL Crew. All of us are here. Like, I feel like this is the first time in a very long time we are all here. So y'all know we're going to go off the rails at some point, but I'm very excited about it. Joined by Dom, Adam, Ben, and Rob. So, yeah, Rob's finally back. We're so glad to have you back, Rob.
Yay. It's me.
It's you.
Hi.
But we are so glad to see you all in the chat, see you all here. Happy Friday Eve. I see that in the chat. Yeah, absolutely. So ready for the weekend. But we have I guess a lot to talk about, but also a little to talk about. Wasn't a huge news week, but we got some questions from you all that we want to get to. But first, let's look at the points for our ATYL points championship here. If it loads, if it doesn't, that's totally fine. There we go. It's working on it. There we go. All right, that's my face, and it's going to do that every single time. Oh, there we go. All right. So I got like an actual race win this weekend, so I really just lengthened out that points. But Ben, what a comeback, dude.
Yeah, I came back to life from the hospital. I'm going to come back and win this title.
He's got it.
He's going full Kyle Busch.
Yeah.
He really is. He really is. And then Dom, I hate to point this out, but kind of a fall from grace for you, bud.
Yeah, we plan to take ATYL to court over these point standings. We just feel like your points lead is not genuine. No, I'm kidding. This is all mental error. When I make a point to put my picks in, I do it and then completely forget the next week. So naturally, I put my picks in yesterday. So I'll most likely forget next week.
That's okay. You know what? That's fine. That's cool.
All right.
It helps me out.
I like how Ben sends the picks right after the race is complete. He's like,
all
right, here they are. I've had it.
I'm like at work and I'm getting ready to come back and like on Sundays and I'll just be like, all right, I need to get my picks in for Adam, then I'll get it out of the way.
So am I mathematically eliminated yet?
No.
Not necessarily, no.
All right, yeah. So I'll just win out and do it.
Okay. Fair.
Steal some more points.
Easy enough, right?
Yeah.
And then looking at the actual drivers' points for this week, I know there was a little bit of chaos because Blaney got disqualified, then he wasn't disqualified. So this is how the points look after all of that. Larson with his win, regardless, he's still into the championship 4. Byron +9, Truex, Hamlin +2. Then we have Bell -2, even though like the dude had finished in the second position, got stage points, everything like that, still -2. Then Reddick -16, Blaney -17, Buescher -23. How thrown off were we with NASCAR's decision to undisqualify Ryan Blaney? I mean, I think it was the right decision. NASCAR kind of explained it all and everything like that, and Elton Sawyer talked about it too. But how did we feel about it? If anyone just wants to chime in.
Had there been no explanation, I think it would have been a really bad PR move for the sanctioning body. But being a Blaney fan, I'm over the moon happy.
Hell yeah!
But then actually seeing,
we all are.
So actually, like seeing a full explanation on why, I'm fine with it. I think
good. Yeah, and I will say, in case you all missed it, essentially there was an issue with one of the templates that they use for post-race inspection. Elton Sawyer basically said when they got back home, they reviewed the infraction that they assessed to Blaney following the race. When more information was available on Monday, when they dove into the damper inspection process, it was not consistent from Friday when they started the race weekend until Sunday. So they kind of redid everything there. So
kudos to NASCAR for actually owning up to it,
Yeah.
That's props to them. And now Blaney fans go from, man, it's a must win to it's probably a must win.
Yeah.
It's still probably a must win.
Yeah, because
at two tracks that he historically hasn't been great at.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that with Martinsville, like
he's led a lot of laps at Martinsville. It's just
it's closing the deal at Martinsville, which is kind of why I say it's a tough track for it.
Exactly.
You're right.
It's very easy to have a big lap count.
Honestly, everybody except for Bell is basically in must win.
Pretty much.
Reddick and Buescher both have a decent shot this weekend.
Agree.
Obviously Reddick's really good at Homestead, but Buescher's also sneaky good there. I remember back in 2021, he won. I think he won the first stage, and that was when RFK was still RFK. Well, they were RFR at that point, but I feel like it gets lost that Bell is -2, but he's the only one of the remaining 8 that only has 1 win.
That's true.
That's fair. Yeah.
That's a good point.
I
So
feel like
he's-
Bell. Do we think he's an underdog essentially?
I was just going to say, yeah, that makes him the perfect candidate for underdog. Like aside from Busher being, like
Right.
this is the farthest he's ever gone, and RFK hasn't been in this territory in a long time. Like no, Christopher Bell's an
I
underdog.
think I think I don't think he gets the underdog credit because he drives for Gibbs.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
but
he also wins pole every week.
Fair.
yeah, but they don't give out points for
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
winning the
Right,
poll, even though I think they should. But
Yeah. I mean, I would argue the entire right half of this graphic is the underdog. Like
yeah,
talking
Yeah,
about Bell, the
you're
underdog.
right.
Definitely.
Reddick's an underdog, and that this is the first time he's made it this deep, and first year with that team. Blaney, it's Ryan Blaney, but also I don't think this is his first run making it this deep, and same with Busher. So
Mhm.
it's literally the top dogs versus the underdogs if you split this graphic.
yeah.
Which is fun.
Another thing I noticed also to put with Ben is if you look at this graphic to the left, those are guys who have won consistently over the schedule. The guys to the right were either hot at one point and were cold the rest of the time, or so on and so on. So
Right.
it's an interesting dynamic. Who's
And-
going to rise to the top, or who can just stay consistent and make it to Phoenix?
Truex is
he'll-
clinging to those
Yeah.
playoff points for dear life.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, I was going to
People
say
said that he's an underdog in his own way from how he's running the playoffs.
and what's crazy about this whole playoff system is think about how dominant Byron's been this year, how consistent Denny's been, how good Truex was for the first half of the year, and look at the point differential.
Right.
Man, you have to be good all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're all on pins and needles. I mean, Byron could be minding his own business and blow a right front tire,
Right.
and he is screwed. So he's got to be perfect, no matter how good he's been all year.
All right. So by the way, also for the Vegas race, congrats to Riley Herbst, his first Xfinity Series win.
I was happy for him.
That
I
was
was
very
so happy.
Finally. Finally.
He's been
And then
due.
and then Marty Schneider touched his face really weird. It was kind of awkward.
That was so bizarre.
He just
That
was
was so bizarre.
I will bless you, son, and just touched him. I was like, "What's happening?" I woke up from a nap and saw that. I was so confused.
I was like,
Am
what?
I still dreaming? What is this dream?
Riley Herbst won a race.
Just touched.
Is this
Yeah.
part of the interview process?
No,
my
he's been
God.
knocking on the door all year. It's,
Yeah,
Yeah.
He was
definitely
gonna
wasn't a
he was gonna get one at some point.
Yeah,
For sure.
And
definitely was
since I'm very optimistic for him for next year.
Same.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, signing back with Stuart Haas Racing, I mean, if he's been able to carry momentum this year, and I feel like he's learned a lot too this year that he's going to carry over, I think he'll be good, a top contender for the championship next year.
1000%.
Yeah, 100%.
good
All
for
right.
him.
So let's get into some NASCAR news and some talking points. A quick segment before we get into your questions. Like I said, again, we had some of you all submit questions across Threads, X, which is Twitter, Blue Sky. So a lot of different places to
Don't
submit your
surrender,
questions.
Taylor. Keep calling it Twitter.
I
Don't
want to keep calling it
surrender.
Twitter. I can't
Don't
do
submit
it.
to Elon.
I'm like X, aka Twitter, but it's mostly Twitter, and it still will be forever and
It's
always.
Twitter.
It's Twitter.
So we have questions from there. Also in the comments, if you want to leave them. I know we have a question farther up in the comments that I definitely want to get to because we haven't talked about that in a while, like how we all got into racing. But yeah, let's start talking about just some silly season news. We can get into it a little bit more if we want to. But Christian Eckes, he's returning to MHR. He'll be teammates with Daniel Dye. Jake Garcia is out at that team. So first off, I mean, I'll just start by saying, I mean, Eckes has had a great year in that equipment. I mean, we saw what Derek Krause was able to do with it last year, and Derek improved last year for sure. But with, having Eckes in this ride, and I'm like, wow, he's winning. He has the potential to win each weekend, contending for a championship. So I'm excited to see him return. I think it's great that they're not trying to move him up too quickly. So yeah, it's kind of my thoughts there with Christian Eckes. I don't know if you guys have anything to add to it, or just MHR as a whole.
I mean, it's interesting to see Jake Garcia leave. I guess they're going to scale down to. My guess is once Dye got announced, it was kind of like Garcia was, "Hey man, you're probably out of a ride."
Yeah.
Happy for Ikes, as I've always called him.
Love it.
Anytime I think about him, I think about what he threw at the double birds at Texas and how much of a bop that is. No, happy for him. He's definitely a title contender this year and probably a decent run in it next year. So nice guy, tries hard, loves the game.
Yeah, this is good backup, especially if he doesn't win the title this year.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
just, we had a good year this year, but now let's go prove that it wasn't a fluke. And if he does win the championship, it's all right. Now let's go defend it. It's not just let me get a good run in and let me get out of here and go up to the next level. So
kind of the Zane Smith approach right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then other silly season news: Corey Haim is staying at TriCon. Are we surprised that he's staying? Or
Yes.
Yeah.
Super shocked.
Very surprised.
It throws a wrench in my Toyota pipeline in my mind. Like, we all know the pipeline, but we all have our own theories of what's going to happen with the pipeline. And in my mind, the pipeline was, okay, Haim wins the title this year, wins a couple races at least. And then you have 2 open Joe Gibbs cars now.
Right.
It made sense for him to jump to Gibbs, but I guess that's not what he wants to do, which is interesting to me. So yeah, it definitely threw a wrench in my idea.
Yeah, I'm very shocked by that. I felt like once John Hunter was announced, I felt like it was a conclusion that Corey was getting the 20 car. And I'd be shocked. I would be shocked if they bumped Jesse Love to the 20.
It happened with Sammy Smith.
Sammy
Smith won the ARCA title won the ARCA owners title and then moved up to the 18 this year. So it's possible.
It's possible. I just would be shocked if they did that. But I also don't think Jesse Love needs to do another year of ARCA.
He's not. He's confirmed not to return to ARCA. They announced that at the championship event at Toledo's. Big Bill said he's not coming back, and he's really disappointed. So he's either going Truck Series racing or Xfinity.
Okay.
I think they ought to put Ryan Truex in one of those Gibbs cars.
Please. If they don't, it's a major L.
Well, they're working on funding.
True.
Or they could put Ty Dillon in one of them.
See, I mean,
again.
he did the experiment. He tried it already. I don't think it'll happen again.
Yeah.
I don't think Ty's going that way.
I don't think he's going to McDonald's and work the drive-through.
Jesus.
All right.
That's the clip that'll come back and haunt me in 6 months.
My God. On that note, then,
where Sheldon Creed goes.
That's another good question too. I mean, he said he has plans for 2024.
Sheldon Creed.
Maybe
sorry.
The guy's going to Gibbs.
Gibbs is definitely Gibbs or Colleague is my thought.
Yeah.
Colleague's got the RCR. Colleague's the RCR thing though, so I don't know how much RCR would be willing to be like, hey, you left our team, you're going just literally down the block.
No, I agree. That'd be odd.
Because do we really know the context of, is this a happy ending of terms or is this a get out kind of term?
It seemed like Sheldon's team was very caught off guard by the news.
Yeah.
So
especially this late in the season.
Yeah.
Right.
While he's still battling for a championship.
Right.
Yeah. Kind of the Tyler Reddick approach, I guess, if you really think about it.
Wait, hold on.
Sounds
Ben's
like
doing some research.
Sorry, I sleep on Saturdays. Is Creed in the playoffs?
Yeah.
He is.
He's in the round 8.
Yeah.
He's in it, but
I gotta stop sleeping on
Is
Saturdays.
he in the
Is he real? He is dead last. He is 8th.
Is he?
He's 41 points out. Okay, wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not good for him.
Yeah.
He
He's
moved
in a
on,
must-win
but-
situation.
Yeah.
Sorry. I apologize, Sheldon. I forgive me for my sins.
We got you, Sheldon.
Thank you, Sheldor.
There's still a lot of moving parts for silly season, obviously. I mean, before the 2024 season, it's all going to get figured out. So, we can all be a little patient, but there's still some things that are kind of surprising us left and right. So we'll see. But I want to move on to a debate, a little bit of a debate, I guess. The Racing America had their first ever Racers Forum this past week that Toby Christie covered. He did a great job with it. And there was an interesting topic of discussion that, they talked about with the team owners and Jeff Gordon in particular about how NASCAR is very different from other forms of sports where you really focus on the athletes or the drivers first and then the teams. Usually for other sports, you're focused on teams depending on. Jeff Gordon had a quote, and I kind of want to talk about it a little bit because I feel like this is a brainstorming fun little session here. He said, quote, "I think we have a role as race teams to build our brand up." I can read, I swear to God. Maybe not as much as the star power of the driver, but in a way where drivers, and we've seen this recently with Jimmy Johnson, Dale Jr., and myself, several big drivers that have huge fan followings, stepped away from the sport, and I think it had a big impact on the sport, et cetera, et cetera. So kind of talking about, I guess, do we feel the fact that fans aren't necessarily gravitating towards teams, do we feel like that's a huge issue? Do we not see it that way? And I guess too, like, how do we get more fans to focus on the team aspect before the drivers? I'll give you a second to process.
I have thoughts on this.
Go for it.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm gonna make a stick and puck metaphor, not stick and ball metaphor.
Love it.
Attaboy.
So I'm a Philadelphia Flyers fan, have been for 10 years now.
God bless you.
When they traded one of my childhood idols in Claude Giroux away to the Ottawa Senators, I got sad. I was like, Claude Giroux's been like the icon when you think of the Philadelphia Flyers. And when they traded him away, I got sad. But I followed Giroux, but I don't follow the Ottawa Senators anymore. I follow the Philadelphia Flyers. And this ties into, I understand where they're coming from with the fear of the teams not being as predominant figures as the drivers.
Right.
But that's what the Spilts Borton are. Borton. Wow. I learned to read phonics too. That's what the sport is built on, is these drivers. Yes, the teams run them, but I don't like. Okay, example, Bubba Wallace. I was a Bubba Wallace fan. I have been for a long time. When he was driving with Petty Enterprises, where RPM or whatever God's name they're called, I was really happy because I like RPM. I like Richard. Richard was like a cool guy I read about books, and his cars were blue, so I liked Richard as a kid.
Yeah.
Obviously they sucked, and then he left it with the 23XI. Guess what? Now I'm a 23XI fan. I still like Legacy Motorcycle Club or whatever they're called now. Whatever they are at this point. But the point I'm trying to get at is this: if you need, like, you can't be mad when the sport's been built off this for literally 75 years now. Also, I feel like this conversation's only become relevant because Trackhouse is doing things outside of drivers.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on it. I rambled for like too long already, so someone else take the floor on the microphone.
Rob, I think you said you have thoughts too.
How do you gravitate to teams when they're all based in the same place? That's like the glaring issue I have with it, is that you're trying to equate these teams to like the New England Patriots and the New York Giants, the Dallas Cowboys. These teams aren't, except for Trackhouse, who's based, close enough to North Carolina. All these teams are in North Carolina. So your allegiance is going to lay with the drivers you like, not necessarily the team that they drive for. That being said, I think what Jeff Gordon is saying is already happening with 2311 and Trackhouse. And I think because it's not happening with Hendrick, and it's not happening with Gibbs, and it's not happening with RCR, it sometimes feels like because the big teams aren't doing it, it doesn't matter. Right. And I think, and honestly, I think it's only when one of those teams wins a championship that what they're doing will actually be taken seriously. Because I think right now, Trackhouse and 2311 are seen as the fun teams that win sometimes, not a juggernaut team that is moving the sport forward. And the reality is 2311 and Trackhouse are at the forefront of moving the sport forward as far as teams go. And the better they do, the better the sport's going to do.
Right. People want to go, not only go to the race, but they want to watch as either the 23 or the 45 crosses the finish line and Michael Jordan's jumping for joy on the pit box.
Yeah.
They want to see the emotion. They want to sit and wait. It's like, what's Pitbull going to say when he finds out Ross or Daniel won the race today? Like, they want to see that kind of reaction. Stuff like that.
How many more fans do you think Alpine's going to get now that Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce?
I have thoughts on this.
I don't know. And that's a good point mentioning Alpine, because that's the big change for me personally, like between Formula One and NASCAR, is like, I'm a Ferrari fan. I don't care who's in those two cars. I'm rooting for the Scarlet cars on the racetrack. I'll root for the team there. And that's different. Like, to Rob's point, the Ferrari team's based in Italy. The Mercedes team is based in England. I know a lot of the other teams. I mean, the Alpine team's in France. So they're in different locations.
Williams is in England.
So you have a little bit more of a sense where it's like, it is cool when it's the Italian Grand Prix because it's Ferrari's home race.
But to that
go ahead.
To that credit, a lot of people from Southern California and Mexico are Daniel Suarez fans.
Right.
So that regional allegiance still can lie with certain drivers. People up here love Ryan Preece.
Right.
And I'll say I like Ryan Blaney because his dad, Buckeye Bullet. That's the reason why I gravitated towards him first, because I'm like, Ohio dude. Finn.
I want to tag team. I think it was Dom that said the Alpine, or maybe Rob, one of the two. Okay. I want to tag team off something here because I just watched this episode recently. I'm going to ask you all a question. If I say the name Wrexham, does anyone know what I'm talking about?
Oh, is it the team that Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah,
they've got it.
So for those who have been living in the dark and don't watch soccer or football or whatever you prefer to call it, Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds bought AFC Wrexham, a team that no one cared about. And they've been doing this docuseries on FX, and I've been watching it. I'm a huge fan. And they talked to fans that there was a guy that flew from Australia to watch a game at Wrexham AFC, which is at the time when they filmed this, 4th tier English league football, which is pennies on the dollar compared to the Premier League. But what they've done is they've created, they're an Arc of the Cup essentially for those at home. But what they've done is they've created a buzz around this team and a hype around this team, like 23XI, like Trackhouse Racing. And so that's where the discrepancy is, I feel like, with a lot of a Hendrick or a Gibbs, of that they've just been doing the same thing. Like Rob, you mentioned it, they've been doing the same thing for how long, and it's now I feel like they're getting not necessarily scared, but a little worried because they see these new teams come in and are making a crap ton of money or a crap ton of traction. So
here's the thing. It's your ability to adapt. I mean, do you have a social team, a marketing team? Do you have whatever team it is? I mean, heck, Hendrick's still getting new sponsors. Like William Byron's running a pods paint scheme. What is it, this weekend, next weekend, something like that?
Next weekend.
Yeah, next weekend.
And the red doesn't match on the 24 number.
Yeah.
But that's an argument for another.
I was going to say, but
foil red.
I mean, they're still able to bring in sponsors and things like that because, you have they're big teams, right? They also have their staple fans because you're like, okay, well, Dale Earnhardt Jr. used to race at Hendrick in the 88. So I'm a Hendrick fan for life because I love Dale. So you have those fans too. But I think what Trackhouse is able to do and what 23XI, 2311 is able to do is they're able to bring in those newer fans, the younger fans, the fans that are kind of like, I want something different. And I think that can be a little scary to the bigger teams.
The issue is that a lot of the bigger teams, and I think the majority of NASCAR as a whole, prides itself on being this good old boys, very hometown grassroots sport. And I think what these teams need to ask themselves is, do you want to elevate the sport, or do you want to feel like you're, running your local short track? Because I think that's a big thing that I'm going to say Hendrick, so if we're talking about the 3 main teams that have been established for a long time in their current state, Joe Gibbs Racing, Hendrick Motorsports, RCR. Joe Gibbs Racing is the closest to becoming a 2311 or a Trackhouse.
That's fair.
Having Denny Hamlin helps out a lot. I think their owner coming from another sport helps with it too. Hendrick, there's a business aspect to it. You know what I mean? Rick Hendrick is a businessman. RCR is in the dark. I don't really see RCR ever changing their how they operate, and that's why they don't win a ton of races.
Yeah, I think the best way to describe Hendrick is corporate.
Yeah.
Hendrick and
Hendrick
Penske.
Yeah.
And I'm forgetting Penske. I am so sorry.
The difference, though, I would say, I mean,
Here.
I
Penske,
knew I was forgetting one.
Penske is corporate atmosphere with young, exuberant drivers, whereas
Yeah.
Hendrick is
That helps.
all the way through corporate.
And here's what I will say about
Yeah.
Penske is I think they were the first team, in my opinion, to really step into the social game with like the Penske games, letting Ryan Blaney do his own podcast, The Glass Case of Emotions.
And Brad, when he was, early in his career, was super into being engaging like that.
Yeah.
He still is,
Yeah.
but like he was one of the first.
And
A
Roger,
sweet scene around the world.
yeah, and Roger's always been on the forefront
yeah.
of stuff like that. Even when like the biggest example in the most recent ones when he bought IMS and has done so much to like actually build it into a great racetrack. Like he's corporate, but like he knows. Like I feel like Roger's the kind of guy that a couple years ago he knew how to hold a beer in his hand and party. So
Alex makes a good point too about
Yeah.
Penske lets their drivers actually have a personality.
mhm.
You've got to go towards drivers that have personalities.
Mhm.
You've got to gravitate towards them. And just because somebody is the offspring of one of the most popular drivers doesn't mean they're the most popular driver. And I think that really I am not knocking Clyde.
William.
Sure. I think he's great. He seems like a very nice person. He doesn't
He's a
owe, but
lovely young man.
he doesn't owe a persona to anyone.
Precisely.
That's fair.
If you asked him, he would say he does not give a flying fladiddle about.
He got it.
He's learning.
He's learning.
No fingers in the jar.
You're not getting any change from me. I was the OG.
That is true. That is true.
But if you asked him, he would say he does not care about winning most popular driver, and that is his right to not care about winning most popular driver. But people can't get upset when he doesn't have the personality that they think the most popular driver should have, because there are drivers, see Ryan Blaney and Bubba Wallace, that have those personalities, but there are reservations that people hold to where they won't accept that. Denny Hamlin's the same way.
Yeah.
We want personality, not like that.
Yeah.
Do you want AI to create a driver with a personality for you? Because apparently it can do that now. So I don't know. Maybe AI can create a real life Ricky Bobby for you. I don't know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Well, there can't be two number ones because that'd be 11.
Oh yeah. Here we go. And then Alex said it's like I don't think any of the Hendrick current drivers.
I got my 2 cents in.
You got it. Yeah, I like what Alex is saying here. Penske's corporate but understands personalities are necessary. And then I think for sure, when we have drivers like Logano, I mean, I guess all of the whole Penske group that are able to do the broadcasts, and Cindric has the microphone during a rain delay.
Austin's fun. Austin's a fun guy.
They're all goofy.
They are.
They're all nerdy and goofy guys, and that's why people love them.
What really helped with Penske is that Brad and Joey bounced off each other so much, and they were so hilarious, but they would win almost every other week.
Yeah.
They were so good. Yeah. So it was like, Roger was like, why should I say anything? We're winning. We're leading laps.
Exactly.
One of them is going to win the title this year. So let them do what they want to do.
And I will say too, with all the rain delay stuff this year and everything like that, I became more of an Austin Cindric fan. I'm like, dang, this dude is super fun.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I can pinpoint the exact moment that I became a fan of Austin Cindric, and it was this year during the ARCA broadcast at Phoenix when Jamie Lyle said the temperature was 69 degrees, and he just quietly goes, "Nice," but it goes over the broadcast. That was the moment.
Yeah, at that point I was like, you know what? He gets us.
That's when you realize that these drivers are our age.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, honestly.
Like the way Cindric and Harrison Burton talk to each other, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, you I could sit and hang out with you guys.
I mean, then here's the thing that I appreciate about I'll get to that in a second because I don't want to get Alex too. But what I will say is Cindric knows how to do so well because obviously you have to be professional to be in this industry, but he knows how to turn the personality on and off. He knows how to be professional and then be goofy. There's a way to do that. And I think a lot of these teams are training their drivers. It's only professional. It's only like no personality, nonchalant, straight focus all the time. And that's just not how this works. It's not how it should work.
I think a lot of them too are just, they're so sponsor committed.
Yeah.
They are so afraid of their driver saying something that will turn off a sponsor and turn away dollars. They want them to just be media robots.
And that's what I think. I'm like, I wish the sponsors, and there's some great sponsors out there that will work with your drivers and work with the drivers to fit their personality. And that's why sometimes it's difficult to go after sponsors because you want a sponsor that's going to fit your driver, not just for money, but you want something that's going to actually work, be a good relationship there. But again, like you said, there are some sponsors that are like, you got to.
You know who's really good with that? Alpha Prime.
Yeah, I was going to say Alpha Prime. They're
Prime's
good.
really good with that.
I want to get to Alexander's comment here. Thank you so much for the donation there, Alex. We appreciate it for the super chat. It's a bit of a hot take. We love hot takes, though. But I never liked personality drivers. I enjoy the structure and professionalism of Hendrick drivers, for example. I feel like Logano and Blaney tried to force humor, and it's cringeworthy. Sorry. That's fair.
No, you don't have to be sorry.
You don't have to be sorry.
No. I mean,
That's
like
fair point.
that is not every fan is going to have the, want the same thing out of a driver, and that's why, you're the reason that there are fans of people that drive for Hendrick.
What your interest is.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
every driver has at least one fan.
In Alex's take, it's I want to see professional athletes, not part-time comedians. It's like,
Right.
That's fair. That is a fair point.
So fair.
Like, I don't blame you for having that opinion.
I mean, that's fine.
This is something that, like, I think Rob, actually, I think you put this in my ear like a while ago, and I've thought about this a lot because we had the discussion a couple months ago about like modified drivers specifically. And I think I asked you something of like, where's Bobby Santos at? And you brought up the point of, these guys, they just want to, and granted, modified racing and like lower tier racing is a lot different from Cup Series racing. But these guys, they just want to drive a race car. Like they have their day job and that's what they want to do. And that's something I've thought a lot about recently when it comes to like some of the ARCA guys that I cover. Like a lot of people at first, like at the beginning of this past season, were like critical of Greg Van Alst of like when he won Daytona. They were like, "Oh my God, we need to get him on every like YouTube page, every like TV show," and he didn't do it. And everyone's like, "Man, like if Greg did this or did that, he'd be able to sell sponsorship money and all this." And I was on that bandwagon until you said that, and I was like, maybe Greg just wants to drive a race car. Maybe he doesn't care about this stuff and wants to work his day job and drive a race car on weekends. So that's something I think a lot about too now when it comes to like Chase Elliott or an Alex Bowman or a Martin Truex Jr. now at this point, who's older in his career. Maybe they just want to drive race cars or fish.
Justin Bonsignor is out there, making a name for himself to be a NASCAR Hall of Famer. He gets to do, his weekly job, and every couple of weeks or so he hops into a modified and lights it up on the track. And he's gonna be a Hall of Famer for it. You don't have to be a Cup champion. Not everybody really needs that.
It's just something I've thought about in the past few weeks, especially with all this stuff. So
For sure. And I think, it's some drivers just like want to go out there and do it for fun. But then also I love the drivers that are able to be like, I want to do this. I want to be a champion. I want to have fun, but I'm also like serious about this. You know what I mean? So we can combine the two. I wanted to get, Matt had a few comments in here. Sorry, Matt. I wanted to get to them. So first off, I gotta find it. I can't find it. Oh,
don't be hating first on race day, brother.
Matt said Kyle Larson will probably win most popular driver of the year is my guess.
Why?
For me, he got that.
No.
Why?
That goes to BJ McLeod.
What? This is not anything against Kyle Larson, but why would he be most popular driver?
So you should hear race day.
Yeah.
When they announce his name, it's louder than it is as loud, if not louder than Chase.
Yeah.
It's
really
wild. It is wild.
Yeah.
And all the things, because all that he does for like the sprint cars and all those things that he does outside of NASCAR as well in the racing community, he has rallied so many fans around him.
I think, like I put in the prediction chat that we have that Larson would win most popular driver, but I definitely think it'll be a nail biter between him and Chase.
I agree.
The obvious votes will go to Chase, but I think because of his performance this year and just what seems to be just the shifting towards, I mean, let's just be honest, he is the man right now in
Yeah.
the sport.
It's true. And if he wins a championship this year, then
now he'll be a 2-time champ. If he does it, I think he is the man. So it would not surprise me if he gets most popular driver. It would, but even if he does win, and it's like, man, yeah, we could see this coming, it's still going to be a huge upset.
Yeah, for sure.
It'd be funny if Denny Hamlin won most popular driver.
He will never, but I would love it.
Hell will literally freeze.
No, Adam, they don't like personality. Remember?
Oh, that's right.
They don't like when someone else.
We want a driver with personality, not like that.
They don't like when someone beats their drivers. I got it.
Yeah, I think I agree with Matt. Where Matt Chase's demeanor has been way different this year.
Oh, it's been so different.
He's had such a weird year. Like I don't blame him, honestly.
Yeah.
Right. I mean,
fair.
3 weeks in, you race 2 races, then you break your leg. You're out for however long he was, 6 weeks, I think. You come back, run a few races, and you get suspended.
That whole team just been off. I mean, you literally have arguably, I would say, one of the either top 2 or 3 smartest crew chiefs of our generation, Alan Gustafson, who can't do the math right on fuel and runs out at Watkins Glen.
You have off years. It's not a big deal. Like I'm not, people are like Chase Elliott's on fraud watch. He's not on fraud watch. He's still a top tier driver.
Right.
Oh
yeah. But every driver has their off year. Every athlete does. Period.
It's just that whole team's off.
Yeah. There's half of Hendrick that's having a banner year, and half of Hendrick that has been plagued by so many different things.
It'd be like that sometimes.
So don't even. Dom.
Fire Alex Bowman into the sun.
Is what he wants to say.
Get the cannons, boys. We're going to space.
Alex, I love you.
California.
I'm sure he's a great guy. Loves dogs.
So
Joe for Tommy.
We are going to get to some fan questions from y'all, whether it be from social media or from here. So if you have questions for us, leave them here. I want to get to one first we had early in the show. I don't know if he's still in the chat, but how did we all become fans of racing? Well, we all have to give a really abridged version of this.
No, I'm telling you the whole narrative.
So I guess
my bio on the website. I think it's in there.
I guess I'll start
with the prologue.
So I'll start just because I feel like mine's the shortest. I started watching in 2016 with my grandma. She was a fan since like the mid 2000s, and watched that. Went to my first race in 2017, and I was hooked. But it's because of my grandma that I watch racing, and now here we are, a bridge version.
Me?
Yeah, go for it.
First race I saw was the 2004 Daytona 500. Immediately made a connection to the Home Depot car because my grandpa built houses for a living and would always take me there when he was babysitting me. So when I got the toy Home Depot car, he loved it. That made me like the sport even more. And then was looking for a favorite driver. Brand new kid, 18-year-old, gets thrown into the 20 Home Depot car. I was like, I'll root for this kid. And the rest is history.
I always wondered how you were a Logano fan.
The Home Depot 20.
Okay.
Adam.
First race I saw was the 1998 Daytona 500. The winner of that race is not my favorite driver. It goes to the driver of the number 24 Chevrolet. Saw the car on TV, fell in love with it, told my dad, hey, I want that race car. Dad goes to Walmart, buys a little diecast, and there began the obsession. That was ground zero of my sickness and my love.
Hi, Adam.
25 years of trying. Here we are.
Oh my God. Love it. Rob?
Well, my parents met drag racing, so you could say that
That's so cool.
that I know they're watching right now, so
I missed
yeah,
explain they were at a red light.
You're ousted. No, it was at 7580 in some town in Maryland. I cannot remember the name of the town.
Oh my gosh.
Hagerstown.
Hagerstown.
It's not Hagerstown. It's a little bit further south. than Hagerstown.
Oh.
The track's still there. It's closed, but it's still there.
Awesome.
We went and saw the hill where they met a couple years ago.
Oh my
It was
god!
it was really cool, honestly. But yeah, so like when I was a kid, my uncle was still racing, so my dad would go with him. That's what my tattoo on my thigh is. It's my uncle's race car number.
So much Rob lore just dropped, and I don't know what to
But
do with it.
how did I feel like I have told you guys this before. But
Wait,
anyway,
Rob,
so
wait, Rob, you have a tattoo on your thigh?
I do have a tattoo on my thigh. I've had it for about a year.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
But
yeah, that's right.
yeah, Taylor, you've seen me in
Yeah,
person.
I was like, duh. Yeah.
I was,
But yeah, so like my, every couple months or so, my dad would like go for a weekend with my uncle, and he'd bring me back a T-shirt. So like, it was kind of always, somewhat relevant in my life. And then I saw the movie Cars, and I loved it. My first race that I saw was the 2007 Daytona 500. What better race to get started on? And and this is similar to Adam's story. I absolutely it wasn't my favorite driver was not the winner. Though I have had an affinity for Kevin Harvick ever since. I absolutely adored the Target car. So I have been a Reed Sorensen fan for my entire life. And I guess I'm a fan of a spotter now, which is cool. But then I moved to Massachusetts and started working in the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour. So now I like the mods. Okay, that's it. Ben, go.
Sorry, I wasn't ready. I guess like I got lucky, kind of a similar, not like exactly the same thing to Rob, but my grandfather, my mom's dad, was a local shade tree mechanic that was a NASCAR fan. He rooted for Bill Elliott when Bill Elliott started his career driving for Ford, driving the number 9 Ford, and he was a Ford man all of his life, and it spread through my family. My uncle is quoted saying after Davey Allison's death that he was going to go to the funeral as a 12-year-old. That's how much it meant to the family as a sport of racing and Davey as a whole. I got lucky similarly when I was born, like similar to Rob. I was a Cars kid from the Cars generation. And it kind of kicked off my love. But my first races I don't remember because I listened to them on MRN because we were poor and couldn't afford satellite. So I remember sitting in my dad, which turned out to be my stock 1994 Ranger, listening to Barney Hall and Joe Moore call races. Which was the coolest thing to me now looking back on. Like I would sit out there on Sundays and sweat my balls off because of how hot it was.
What a legend.
It would know it, like not the truck running, and listen to those two call races. The first race I did watch though was 2006 Dover, the race where Casey Kane and Tony Stewart killed themselves immediately, like 20 laps in, and Jeff Burton beat Matt Kenseth upright on a restart.
Dang.
That's my first race.
That was
Banger.
a banger.
That's good.
So ever since then, just been kicking the tires around, hanging out.
John, your first race was Reed Sorensen's only pole in the Cup Series.
Dang.
It's all relative.
Hot stat.
Let's see. We'll get to this question from John before we go into the other ones from social media because this is a good one. Aside from Bristol, what's a track you want to go to that you've never been to before? Because we need to start planning this whole Bristol meetup thing that we're wanting to do. Because Ben, I'm here for it. I want it to happen. But
yeah, we need to happen.
For me, it's Talladega. Oh, Indianapolis. That'd be a good one.
Dude, it's so even for the Cup race when it like 2019 when the package sucked, coolest time of my life. Like I love that track. He didn't say rules on this, so I have two answers. One of them is Watkins Glen. I want to go to Glen so bad. I think that's a cool track.
Unbelievable there.
And one track I want to go to because he didn't put rules on this. I want to travel back to the 80s and watch my local asphalt short track return because it's closed now. Corbin Speedway in Corbin, Kentucky. I'd love to go back in time and watch some old late models race there. That'd be so cool.
I really want to go to Indy. One of my dreams as a freelance photographer is to shoot the Indy 500. And also, I'm kind of all in on the Chicago street course. I would love to check that out, but I want to see them go to other street courses too.
Yeah.
Rob, do you want to go to Chicago?
Do I want to go to Chicago? I'll go to Chicago. I've been to Chicago.
Like this year? I mean, like
Oh,
for the
I've-
race, because I want to go over
I
the
can't
bad.
plan that far ahead.
Let's all go.
I work in college athletics.
Fair enough.
I don't know.
Fair.
I don't know how long I'm going to be home for Thanksgiving.
4 hours.
My
I
God.
might have to fly to North Dakota State. Who knows?
Oh, the Fargo.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Hey, Rob, I had to do that at Thanksgiving time one time. That was not pleasant.
Yep. He knows.
Speaking
2 years
of more
ago,
rules,
2 years ago, I got to go to Madison Square Garden on Thanksgiving weekend. That was fun.
Ooh.
That was fun.
speaking of
college
no
hockey.
rules, I want to go to Monaco. I want to see Monaco race.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that'd be
Right.
neat.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, that's like mine involves time travel, so like I think that's fair.
Yeah, but his involves affording a
Listen, and
plane
plus-
ticket.
If we're being honest, how the race is there, I would just want to go see qualifying.
That's
Monaco
true.
Yeah.
qualifying
That's
is
a good point.
electric.
It's bonkers.
Oh, Matt's got it.
Matt's got it.
Matt's got it. Matt's
You're
got
committed.
it. All right. That's it. We're going to Vegas next year.
I don't
Yeah.
gamble. I'm bad enough with money.
We don't have to gamble. There are bars, Dom.
We're just there for the good time.
All right, we're
But are there
we
mer-
can,
but are there merchandise?
we can grab our drinks and watch Matt
Oh.
gamble.
Speaking of merchandise, you guys, check out the
God.
ATYL merch. We got this shirt. I'm
Oh
wearing-
yes.
I'm wearing, and then we got the
Get your merch.
hold on, the back. Yeah.
That stuff looks good. I wonder
Yeah.
who designed it.
Special shout out to Rob Branning for designing all of our merch.
Yeah, shout out Adam. Good job, Adam.
Nobody mentioned that Adam made a hat change midway through this stream, but I just wanted to acknowledge it.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
he did.
I
got
watched
his
the
kid.
man do it.
We all missed it. I
think-
totally missed it.
I
I
think
didn't
the
want to make a
racetrack-
scene.
We're all making hat changes. What? Oh crap! My
Can I
hat's
get- can I get
literally
my
in the
racetracks in?
room. Oh, no.
even notice that.
Yes, Adam.
All
Adam,
right.
say your tracks.
I want to go to Kansas. I want to go to Kansas Speedway.
Yes, me too.
I want to hang out with our friend Alex, Mr. Newgaden.
Yes.
We could do that at
And-
Iowa. We could do that at Iowa.
Alex, come to the Brickyard next year, please, God.
Alex, hi.
Also, I would also like to go to the Australian Grand Prix. It just looks like a badass time. So that'd be fun.
Oh,
Look at
go to
that.
like Bathurst.
Yeah, that was
Bathurst or like what's the other one? Is it Adelaide? Is Adelaide where the
Yeah,
Grand
Adelaide's
Prix
the one
is?
that-
No,
Or no, that's in
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
No, Melbourne is where the Grand Prix is.
now. They used to go to Adelaide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Or maybe
I
Abu
feel like
Dhabi.
I could spend a couple weeks just like touring with the supercars. Like I would have fun doing that. But
If-
I hate to say this, but I think we would need somebody from the States to go down and race there for me to like
Yeah.
at least go as a fan. Like if I was hired to work there, I would do it in a heartbeat. It's hard now with a full-time job, but if like a driver from the States was down there, I 100% would go down and see a race.
I'd like to go to the Gold Coast, that race for supercars. I think that'd be awesome.
I want to see if I can find Randy,
Yeah.
the Australian purple puppet.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Alex, come for the 400 too.
Speaking of Alex, he actually submitted a question on social media. Hold on, here we go. I love this one. So he asked us about our like Mario Kart mains last time. So what about Super Smash Bros?
Fox.
Fox, really?
It's Star Fox and
Really?
nothing else except for King DDD
Okay,
sometimes.
that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Are you ready? You ready?
Matt,
Ready? I
Matt,
have never
yes,
played
so
Super
many times.
I have never played Super Smash
Dom,
Bros.
what did you?
Pardon?
You lived a good life.
Never, not once.
I have,
I wish I'd
but
never
I was
played.
not strategic with my characters, so I don't
I-
remember.
I played it like
I suck.
3
I used-
times in college. That was about
Oh my
it.
I used to,
My-
because all my friends would play. I used to host Smash tournaments at my house.
I would in
All my
college.
buddies would play, and like I
There
would
was an
be in it.
entry fee.
There was an entry. There was a cover
Oh my
charge.
God.
Cover charge, bouncers, you name it, it was there.
There was an open bar.
We had grandstands.
So what we've learned is
Hard to
Rob is
admit.
running Smash Fight Club out of his
Hey, hey,
house.
hey! We don't talk about it.
Okay, John, that's a good one.
Rule number 1.
Kirby.
I
Mine's
feel like
good.
Kirby's the
Solid.
one I used.
Martha's mine.
Maybe I used Bowser. I can't remember.
Oh, Bowser's a good one.
Never played. Don't know how any of it works.
Yeah,
Well,
like I said, like
You
3
saved
times, and my roommates they would play for hours on end in the living room, and then I'd go into my room and race just nonstop.
Oh my god, I love it.
I used to, speaking of Rob hosting, I used to, where I worked in an esports lounge, we used to host Smash tournaments, and they're the bane
You
of
used to
my
work in an
existence.
esports lounge? That's dope.
Yeah, before I met you all. It
Really?
sucked. I'll talk about it off stream because I don't want to ever talk about it in front of a recording camera.
God.
But yes, it was awful.
My
That's gotta
lawyer
be-
advised
fair
me to
enough.
be off the record.
It's just my lawyer is actually just my sister yelling at me from like 2 blocks down.
Don't talk about it, man.
Don't do it. Sorry,
Okay,
Taylor.
here
you
you
asked a
go.
question.
Timothy asked, what do we think the reason is for the fall TV ratings to drop for the Vegas race? There was like a huge drop. I think it was like 16 or 18% or something like that. Also, why the TV deal is taking so long. Let's just answer one of these. Let's talk about the Vegas race ratings, I guess. Dom.
Nobody cares about ratings.
True.
I don't
Yeah.
care about ratings.
Thank
Yeah, I was
you.
going to say
Yeah.
the NFL.
Yeah, the
The
NFL. The NFL.
I thought he was
Who
going to take his
cares?
shirt off.
NFL's king on Sundays in the fall.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's understandable. I mean,
Shorten
I
the
think
season.
And also,
yeah, we're
people forget that the Raiders had a home game that day.
they played
Yeah.
the Patriots.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was like
It
two
started-
pretty, notable teams. But yeah, because one of my coworkers went to Vegas for the Raiders Patriots game, and that's how I learned that the Raiders were home. And I was talking to one of my coworkers, and I was like, "Really? They're home this week? NASCAR's there." And my coworker was like, "Yeah, they're making a ton of money this weekend." I'm like, "Yeah, they need it. They definitely need it."
I'll
Mhm.
say something to add to that point about the NFL and NASCAR. There was always an agreement between the Panthers and NASCAR not to have a home Panthers game the same weekend of the fall Charlotte race. Now, I don't think that deal is still in place with the new ownership group that the Panthers have, but like no matter what, it was always like that was something that like the families of the team like we could go do on that weekend was go to the race and then watch the
Golden
game on
Knights were
TV the
home
next day.
too.
Yeah, they've been
Yeah.
like it's been home opener for them.
Golden Knights are undefeated, Stanley Cup champions, and they're still lost yet this year. So it's why
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
Go
they
Bees.
play?
Go Bees.
Go
Go
Flyers.
Pens. We got
Next up,
our
Go
butts
hockey
by the Red
Go
Wings
hockey.
last night.
sports.
Go Cyclones.
how many Bs do we think will make the championship for? Because we got Busher, Bell, Byron, Blaney.
I
Yeah.
didn't know what that meant.
1.
2.
Rob was like, I don't know.
It's 2.
2.
1.
Which 2?
But I'm not
I
telling you
leaned to
which
2.
one.
I leaned to 2, but
One of them will win.
my
it.
heart says 1.
Yeah,
Bile Barson.
Kyle Barson,
oh my god.
Benny
William
Bamlin,
Barton Buick.
Boonier,
Barton Buick Spooner's the best name ever. Hands down.
This Busher.
Byler, Beddick.
We broke Taylor. We
Martin
broke
Buick
Taylor.
Jr.
That's the funniest shit I've ever
Oh.
That's so stupid. Oh my god.
I feel like now's a good time to talk about the Bush series. Speaking of me,
Taylor, do you need a minute?
I'm good. I'm good.
Are
I'm
you
good.
sure?
Do you remember the charter number 60 car, Dom?
Oh god.
now listen, man. Talk about the Bush series.
Speaking of
Kevin
charter,
Harvick won at Homestead in 2004 in the ESGR Chevy number 29.
Next question.
Ooh.
I tell you what.
Anywho, there's
Um,
that's
I want to bring up something Matt said about Dover.
yeah.
There is nothing that sounds like those cars screaming down the back stretch. And yes, seeing them come out of turn 4 on that hill. And I always used to sit in turn 4. I was never in the pits at Dover, but I used to sit in turn 4 and watching those guys come out of 4 and absolutely fishtail and,
Oh my God! Yeah,
and
they were.
snap
Oh,
and
yeah.
snap back straight.
Old
Dover's
Oh,
magical.
so bad.
Dover's
Yeah,
magical. It needs
there's
it needs
nothing-
2 dates again.
There's nothing better than them coming off that hill at regular sound pitch, and then the high pitch trying to catch it, and then back to normal.
I would give up the Nashville date if Dover could go back to having two.
And speaking of the high pitch, when the COT raced at New Hampshire, that camera shot down the backstretch from the infield, and just hearing them at high pitch and the nose slam into the pavement.
COT qualifying at New Hampshire was like exciting as hell.
It was so crazy. It was the best.
Lots of track bite.
Good times.
Yep.
Next question. I'm trying to do because we have time for one more question.
We have time for all the questions.
Oh God.
We have all
I demand
the
it.
Because
time
Matt's in the chat. We should answer his question.
What was the
Matt's
next
question was, if you could take a lap in anyone's car, race car, what car would it be and at what track?
It has to be a race car.
Yeah.
I was going to say the Bluesmobile, but
I would like.
It's got a cop motor, cop brakes, cop shocks.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Sorry,
What?
Dom.
I'm on a mission from God.
Because I had something, but I'm like, there's got to be something else I'm missing.
Alex knows my answer.
I have my answer. This is
The
going
whole
to be
squad
such
knows
obscure
Taylor.
There's a
reference.
story to this. There's a story to
Squad
this.
knows now.
This isn't real, obviously, because
real.
I'm a child. My dream is to drive Takumi Fujiwara's AE86 down Akiga. That's initial D for those kids at home that don't know what I'm referencing. Yes, I watch
was a-
anime, and no, I'm
What
not
is your
cool.
Speed Racer reference?
That was a series of words.
Those are words I don't understand.
Watch Initial
Please,
D. It's a
please
great anime.
excuse me, Ben.
I prefer if I'm watching an anime, I prefer King of the Hill.
Oh my God.
anime.
Dude.
Propane accessories. I tell you what, Bobby.
Let's
I'm
see.
gonna say. Grief.
He's thinking.
I mean, Jimmy. Any of Jimmy's COTs at Dover would be wild.
Yeah.
Oh,
Even
I
the
have
Madagascar.
I have an
That
answer.
was on
Yes.
rails
You
in
have
that
to wear the wig. You have to wear the wig.
Yeah,
Let it
you
drive.
legally are required.
car.
I have. So this is like enjoyment. This isn't just like the performance of the car.
Mhm.
I want to drive a Legend on the New Hampshire road course.
Ooh,
That looks like so much fun.
what a roller coaster.
It looks
That-
like so much fun.
It does look like fun. I think, man,
Now I feel lame
I
for
don't
my
know.
answer.
Ferrari
I don't really like
F2004.
And my answer is garbage.
where at, Dom?
Larson at Homestead's a good one too.
Yeah, that'd be
This
cool.
one's from Adam here.
So we're so
Okay.
if we drive the car, we are able to we have the ability of the driver.
No, I think it's you're sitting shotgun in their car.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I still stand by my answer.
Oh,
Fujiwara
okay.
down Akiga.
Then my Legend answer does not make sense.
Hey, you could get in the trunk.
Oh, I know what I would do.
give me Jeffrey Earnhardt the last lap of the Talladega race in the spring of 2022.
You're just
Yo.
screaming.
Oh,
I look like the Hezbollah meme.
God.
Taylor, you got to give us your answer now.
So
Hype it up.
two answers to this. So if it was any car at any track, if that was the question that was asked, this was Alex asked me this on their podcast when I was a guest. And I gave this answer that apparently they've told all of our guests from here on out, but I would drive a Kia Soul at Kentucky Speedway.
Are you okay?
are you
Do we need to
suffering
call
from a
someone?
fever or an illness,
Here-
ma'am, at the
Here's
moment?
why though, because I want this to be
Yeah, hello 911. I'd like to report a murder.
I want this to be the worst, most ridiculous experience of my life.
Then drive like an 01 Chevy Cavalier then. for
And I want it to
God's
look
sake.
silly though. So
It's a Cavalier. It has 4 cylinders. It maybe has 100 horsepower now.
I can't explain farther than that just feels silly and fun and also just super mainstream and stupid, and that's why I would want to do it.
Are you going to cosplay as a
Yes,
gerbil too?
that's the only thing I can do.
Taylor is a confirmed furry.
She's an icon and a queen.
I'm sorry, that was too far. I
You know we
but-
have to dress up as rodents and hop in that soul with her too.
We do. Oh yeah. Fair. Alex, love that.
Ridge driven by Ryan Blaney.
Love it.
Ryan Blaney wouldn't be caught dead in a Kia
He
Soul.
wouldn't. He's too good for that. He wouldn't do it.
I think I would do Sam Hornish Jr. in an Indy
Ooh.
car at the Indy 500 when he beat Marco Andretti.
Whoa,
that year.
that's a good one.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good one.
I remember that vividly because it was like, oh, it'd be cool to see an Andretti, but here comes the guy I love. Oh, he got him.
Brendan Gaughan 2019 Talladega.
Okay.
Clint
I would
Boyer
say,
Clint Boyer 2014 Daytona Duel.
Tony Stewart
Oh, yeah.
2012 Fall Talladega.
And there goes my camera
Yikes.
battery. 1 minute.
Oh, I'd love to be in the car. The inaugural Roval race where Jimmy Johnson and Martin Truex Jr. spun out. If I could be in the car with Jimmy during the moment,
Don't remind me of that. Why you gotta damage me like
sorry.
that, Taylor?
Wait, which one?
it's a moment that I would want to live in the car because I could see the finish line being so close and then just get spun out. Jimmy Johnson, Roval, 2018.
Oh God. Yeah, but see, the outcome was okay.
That's because fair.
No,
Blaney-
was it?
For the Blaney fans.
Yeah,
It was a
Blaney
good
won.
time. It was a
That
good
car
time.
was so cool with the little Blaney emoji on the side.
Yes. It was awesome.
I have it sitting over here. Yeah. Yep. It's
need
in one
it.
of the nice cases.
Oh my god.
It's so hot. I
Oh.
love it.
Well, I think that's all the questions we got tonight. We're gonna wrap it up here on the Toby Christie and Above the O-Line live stream. Thanks for joining us again on these Thursday nights. We appreciate it. Make sure to check out, of course, TobyChristie.com for all of your NASCAR news, IndyCar news, motorsports news, whatever it is. You find us there. Also, AboveTheOline.com for all of what we do. Learn more about us, and also I don't know, buy some merch. We got the shirts on, we got the hats on. Be part of the ATYL crew. Get yourself some merch to rep at the track for the rest of this year and next year. And of course, every single Monday, we have the full-length episodes of ATYL out on all your podcasting platforms and on the Toby Christie.com YouTube and Facebook pages. Thank you all for joining and supporting us there as well. But guys, this has been the episode of ATYL, the live stream. All of our social handles have been on the screen for you all for the duration of this, but also scan the QR code. You can find our socials there too. But thank you all so much for supporting us and for joining us again for another wonderful Thursday night. Enjoy the race weekend for Homestead, the Forever 400. My heart's gonna get ripped out of my chest this weekend, but that's fine. I'm here for it. Enjoy, guys. Until next time, we'll see ya. Bye.